Hello everyone, I'm back with another video for you today, and I've been getting a lot of questions recently about what is a good deck to use for the new Conquest game mode. What's a good sort of tournament deck, if you will? What's the most powerful deck in the meta? Well, I kind of am answering all of those questions in one with this particular deck. Now, this is a bit of a spin-off, a bit of a different, a few cards different from what I was playing before in High Evolutionary. I've got a few extra tech cards in this particular deck. The Shang-Chi to answer tool units, things like High Evolutionary Lockjaw is very popular in the meta. Shang-Chi can shut that down very effectively. I've got Cyclops in the deck now, compared to I wasn't running it before. I was just a bit silly. Cyclops is a very good card. That became apparent after people stopped running Luke Cage in every deck, as they were at the very beginning of when, High Evolutionary came out. And we've got Rogue in the deck, which is a nice option instead of Enchantress, because I don't have Zabu anymore. And Rogue is just really good. It can do a lot of things for you. It can, of course, disrupt random ongoing decks like Patriot, Cerebro. You can take away the Hulk from the opponent if it's a High Evolutionary Mirror, which actually can be very, very powerful, because Hulk is often getting to very high amounts of strength. And you can even take maybe a Luke Cage or something in certain matchups. If the opponent's got that, maybe they're playing Hazmat deck or just their own High Evolutionary deck. So Rogue has a lot of purpose, the Shang-Chi as well, and I'm not playing the She-Hulk or the Abomination or anything like that to be less vulnerable to Shang-Chi myself. So you can think of this kind of like the High Evolutionary sort of teched deck. It also has Wave and Doctor Doom, which is quite common in these styles of decks. Of course, you can then use the Wave to counter Control Sarah, you can counter Bounce, and any kind of deck that wants to be doing stuff on the final turn, Silver Surfer. So you've got answers to everything. You've got a lot of tech cards here which deal with all manner of stuff. The only thing you're really vulnerable to is Killmonger, because you've got Nebula, Sunspot, Misty Knight, which all are quite important to play early on to get your early strength on the board. So if someone has Killmonger and they're not vulnerable to Wave in the same way that, things like Silver Surfer, Sarah might be, then you may run into a bit of difficulty, but that's going to be, I think, the only really tough thing that you're going to have to deal with this deck. And maybe Galactus. Galactus decks, you don't have an amazing answer to. You have to just sort of outpoint them with Hulk and play for priority, play the Hulk, deny the Galactus. I think you can certainly beat Galactus, but it's not going to be the best matchup by any means into that deck. But yeah, should be a great deck for Conquest. You kind of just will completely body slam any deck that's not specifically designed to be able to beat you. And that's a pretty good deck to be playing, I think, in the Conquest mode. So I'm going to play through the final sort of gold Conquest. I did climb all the way up, through the different tickets with this deck already. So I'm going to play and see if we can get the Infinity ticket with this wonderful deck. 2 more battles, and then we'll be taking the Infinity ticket. Let's see if we can do it all in this video. Let's go. So we have a lot of tools to deal with what the opponent's going to be doing. We've got the Rogue, we've got the Shang. I probably want to start with the Sunspot. I'm fine playing that, I think, on turn 1. I like playing a 1-cost card on turn 1 so that if you draw a second 1-cost on turn 2, you can also play that. You get the float, and it's not the end of the world to miss a bit of value on the Hulk. You end up sort of losing 1 point, I guess, across your whole board, but it's really not a big deal in this case. Especially because the Hulk power is so concentrated. They have a Luke Cage, so we can Rogue that to take away the value from the opponent there. I think I'll probably go with Misty Knight first. We can do the Rogue a bit later on. Firstly, because we get the float for the Hulk, right? I'm going to go with the Snap. And secondly, because a bit of surprise value potentially later on in the game when a Snap has already gone through. Maybe the opponent will Snap on us. There's certainly things that can happen in our favor there. And we're getting the Wasp coming in here from the opponent, and an Ironheart, interestingly. I wonder what that means. I'm not entirely sure, honestly. I think going with the Rogue now is a good plan, though, just to make sure we're taking the Luke Cage away, and to make sure the Abomination, if they have it, isn't going to be, too easily playable. They can play it here, which would be a bit of a pain, but we're going to take some nice value with the Rogue, and of course it's going to enable my Thing and Wasp to get some real work done. I'll probably end up playing Wasp and the Thing in the Baxter building, although we'll have to see exactly what we want to do. So I assume this is probably a hazmat deck. If I had to guess, they might be doing Doctor Doom stuff potentially as well. That's another option. I think I'm going to go with the Thing and the Wasp. They are going with the Snap here, despite me having played a Rogue, which is certainly a bit scary. We know we're not vulnerable to the hazmat, but potentially we will be vulnerable to the likes of Doctor Doom. I could go Wasp over in the left, but I think we play it out like this. Okay, so the opponent has their own Rogue, that's why they've snapped, I assume. It's going to mean the hazmat is quite strong, although they're playing it out now rather than at the end. It might mean they have an Odin, if I had to guess. It's pretty likely we'll see an Odin as the final play. I'm not sure I can beat that, honestly, so we may have to go with a retreat here. Of course, I could play the Hulk, but they're just going to get so many triggers of everything here. I think we're going to have to retreat, honestly, and take a bit of a different battle, potentially use the Rogue in a different way, since the opponent also has one. It's good that we have that knowledge. Potentially I should have retreated when they snapped, after the Rogue already having gone through. That was a little scary for the opponent to be doing that. I'm just going to have to take, you know, some less risky snaps, I think. We want to see if the Wong comes through on turn 4. If it doesn't, then I think we'll go ahead and, you know, go for snapping. But yeah, I think I want to play a bit more safely because they are a combo deck, so if I snap and I get comboed, that can be a bit of a problem. Okay, Superflow, and we've got Nebula turn 1, that's pretty good. I'm going to play that, but yeah, we may need to go for Rogue onto the Wong, actually. That might be the correct target for our Rogue. Try to shut down that play, maybe after they've played the Wong, so that we can, you know, there'll be some interaction there. We can also save the Rogue until the end of the game and maybe steal the Luke Cage away to deny the hazmat value. But we just basically don't want to go early Rogue here because, well, you saw how that worked last game. It wasn't too good for me. Go Misty Knight on the Nebula here. Get that little buff going, get the Misty Knight in the middle, and I hope we'll be doing okay here. Definitely a bit of a scary deck to be up against. They're actually playing the hazmat out here, I suppose maybe because they are aware of my Rogue. They want to just, you know, make sure they've played the hazmat before it's potentially getting countered, I guess. It's tempting to play the Hulk, the Thing rather. I think I will because I might draw into Cyclops. And there's, you know, even other cards that I would want to play, probably. I'll just get my Thing on the board. Shang-Chi would be nice to deal with Abomination. We'll see what X-Mansion brings. Ebony Maw is pretty good for me. I'm going to be able to... Leader! Okay, now that is good for me. I'm going to snap on this. I'm pretty damn sure we'll be in a good position here to win. We definitely want to play the Cyclops, that's great for me. I'm not sure where. I guess in the middle location. We've got the Doctor Doom that can come in and win in the right. And then Hulk, of course, can come in the left as well. Potentially, or we may just prefer to go for the Rogue in order to counteract the Wong. I think that's the play I'm going to go for here. And then either go for the Doom, or maybe just still the Hulk. And a Wasp, you know, might be the play. But yeah, I think this is good. We'll take away the Wong effect. And even if they go Rogue, it's not going to be the end of the world because they won't be able to Doom, they won't be able to Odin me with the hazmat here. So yeah, we should be okay. I mean, if they go for a Rogue themselves here, that could be a bit scary, but I hope and I think that I'll end up having enough power regardless. I could be wrong about that. I'm actually playing 2 cards here, surprisingly. But I will take away the Wong effect. It's going to be Zabu and the Thing. Okay, okay. Well, that's fine. We're going to be able to take this middle location with Cyclops for the time being. They might have... they may, of course, have the Ironheart, which can get them some value. Which is sort of a bit scary, but I think if I play this... I mean, actually... we kind of aren't winning because of the Luke Cage. I forgot about that. There's always the possibility of a Shang coming now, which is a bit spooky. I think I still will play the Hulk here. They might have a Shang-Chi though, which is pretty unlikely, I guess, with how their deck's looking at the moment. But okay, we got the win there. This is a little tricky, I'm not gonna lie, with the Luke Cage in particular. Maybe I should have still gone for Rogue on the Luke Cage that game, actually. Come to think of it, that might have been the correct play. I'll go Nebula right, because they weren't able to play anything in the right location, so it might have been a good way to do things, but whatever. We'll see what we've got here. Zabu coming in, okay. I think Luke Cage is really the nutty card that kind of breaks the matchup. Got a Sunspot in the left. We've at least got our early game here. We can go Cyclops next as well, and they're danger rooming and losing a unit, which is good for me. It's pretty good for me. I guess we want a Cyclops in the middle. I don't really want a Cyclops in a location where they have no units, but I could also Cyclops in the danger room just to get that ticking. But I'm kind of okay if they're forced to play more cards in the danger room. It doesn't feel great for them. So we've probably got to assume they have an Odin, right? That's probably one of their other cards here. They are going for the Hazmat now. Okay, well we definitely do want to Rogue at some point here. Do we want to go Doctor Doom now, maybe? I could just go for the Doctor Doom now and then go for Rogue at the end. Maybe they play Wong on this particular turn, right? Then we can go Rogue plus Wave at the end. I think Doctor Doom is good here. Tempting to snap. I think I will actually snap here. We're like quite far ahead with the Nebula, with the Danger Room being a thing, with Doctor Doom on the board. I think if I can take this Luke Cage and sort of predict that they're going to play Odin, and then just Rogue in response, I think we'll be okay. Okay, they are hazmatting me here. So we may just see Odin as the last card to sort of finish things up for the opponent. I think I will go with Rogue. I mean, it's the potential to be really, really good. Obviously, it might not do very much. But in that case, they won't be Odining me, so they've got to somehow make a lot of power here. Which should be quite hard. Maybe I don't even play the wave, because we are able to get the Sunspot value and, of course, Cyclops value as well if the opponent doesn't have their own Rogue. I think we should be winning with this line of play against most things. Let's see. Let's see what they've got. Looks like we're getting the Rogue through. That's pretty huge. Gonna be a lot of value. They might still have a lot of power in the middle though, depending on what they've got here. It's gonna be the Thing, and I guess I don't really know how they win on the right at that point. Wong coming down in the wrong sequence apparently. Interestingly, I'm not sure why they did that. I guess they just messed up. But gonna take a pretty easy win there. Definitely our Rogue can be very useful. We just have to time it to make the Odin awkward for them if they've even got Odin, which I'm assuming that's the last card in their deck. They might have a Hulk. But yeah, I would imagine Odin. Okay, next round, here we go. I have the Misty Knight for turn 1. At this point, it's just feeling quite good that we sort of know what the opponent's up to. We most likely have a read on their entire deck. And I think their deck is one that benefits quite a bit from surprise factor, whereas ours not so much. Everyone knows how typical high evolutionary stuff works. Okay, once again the Hazmat coming early game. It's not the most intimidating play. What is a little intimidating is I don't have a very, large amount of early game here. I'm gonna play into Eternity Range. Ends up being a tie there, so actually my maths is horrible and it's not a tie, never mind. Never mind, my mathematics sucks. So I think we want to use the Thing here. I mean, I could float. I get quite a lot of value from floating, but I don't particularly want to play Lady Sif. So I think the Thing is just the way to go here. And yeah, the Mojo World's a bit of a pain. It's a little bit awkward. Now I wonder, do we want to just Rogue this you know, this Wong away? I think we probably do. They haven't played Luke Cage yet. So in this case, I think we do want to do that. I'm a little afraid of what they can do here. Certainly a question of if we'd like to, you know, if we prefer to do something else perhaps, but I think just the Rogue into double Doctor Doom is a very strong line. I won't quite have enough units in the Mojo world to... it's tricky. Do I snap here? It doesn't really matter. I think we can always take a retreat, basically, whoever's losing. But yeah, I'm a little late to deny the Wong, unfortunately. And in fact, we take Zabu, so yeah, that's not exactly ideal. Might just be a retreat angle here, honestly. They may go for Odin, in which case we could, in theory, still win here. But I think taking a retreat here doesn't cost me anything. I'm okay with that, really. They can have a win there. The Mojo world wasn't particularly great, considering I didn't play units in there. But now we're into high stakes, so... just need to get one nice victory here, and we should be good to go. Okay, I'll play my Misty Knight. Then Sunspot. Good early game curve. That's what I really like to see. They still haven't shown me the Odin, but I really can't imagine they build this deck without Odin. It's kind of a no-brainer. Let's go with Sunspot here. I don't have Rogue, so I'm not going to snap. I probably need the Rogue in order to snap. I mean, Doctor Doom is going to be good on Washington, but Wong is just very, very scary thing. Okay, the Nexus is good for me, and I did just draw Rogue, so I think that means I snap. And I'll skip here to get more value on Sunspot. I think we have more potential power in the Nexus. Now, they are going Abomination, which is a lot of strength if I don't find Shang-Chi. But there is my Shang-Chi, so I'm just going to play that out here, I think. I may need to go Rogue next turn, and there's no other units that, you know, we need to Shang, so I'll just make sure I kill that immediately. They're actually playing Wong over in the left, I presume because they want to play the Odin, which we still haven't seen. Do we want to just jam more strength in the Nexus now, or do we want to try to deny what's going on for the opponent? I think we just want more strength in the Nexus, honestly. I think we just played the thing, or even Cyclops is kind of a bit better. It's slightly less points, but it's gives me the option of shooting things there, which if they don't play a Luke Cage is going to be quite good for me, I think. Yeah, I think this is fine. I'm probably not going to lose by 1 point anyway if it comes to that, so this looks good for me. Quite a lot of Ironheart power, but we don't really care. We only care about the Nexus, and I'm failing right now to see how the opponent can win the Nexus location. We're going to take the Wong away, and I guess, yeah, just Wasp in the Nexus. So if they Odin me, it's really not that powerful, and if they don't Odin me, then it's also really not that powerful. Yeah, this should be winning, I think. They also don't have Luke Cage on the board, so the Hazmat will hurt themselves anyway. Looks like the opponent just left. They're not even playing anything here. They roped me out. Perhaps they were not feeling too happy with me for having the cards that beat them. Anyway, that's the first battle done. So one more, and we'll be able to get a nice Infinity ticket. Okay, we found an opponent. Final boss. Let's see what we can do. Sunspot turn 1, gonna be my play. We could play Nebula, actually, in the Space Throne. It's a play that I quite like to make, but provided we can win the other locations, I'm quite okay with it. Just guarantees that Nebula's worth a lot of value. It's kind of like playing Ebony Maw in Space Throne. If we can win the other 2 locations, or, you know, have a foothold in the other 2, then it's really good for me. So I'll go Sunspot here. I'm going to play it a little safe with my snaps until I know what the opponent's playing. I'm not really going to snap on them. I just want to see their deck and what they're up to. Oh, Yondu. So it might be a Galactus deck, which is not great to see. I don't really have any Galactus counter other than just playing the Hulk and, you know, outpointing the opponent. can go Cyclops here though. Might also just be a destroy deck, potentially. So got to remember Elysium's on the board, everything is cheaper. Often the Hulk can outpoint Galactus if they don't Shang-Chi you. So that's definitely a consideration. Kind of know they're going to only have one location for Galactus here. Oh, Jubilee. I wonder, this looks kind of like a bot, right? With the, yeah, I mean the card splits. I didn't even know you could get a bot as the final boss of the gym. I assume this is not a human being. I mean, why would you be having a Jubilee with this kind of a split? Definitely seems a bit suspicious. Well, I feel pretty comfortable going with the snap here, I think. We should be more than winning here, really. This is very much winnable territory for us. I suppose I'll play Wave. I don't want to overcommit maybe to the, to the middle. I mean, really, we're just going to win the right location, aren't we? So let's play a Misty Knight over there, or perhaps even a Wave. It's slightly better, I think. I'll do something like this, and it should just be enough to win. We can even play the Hulk in the middle. And, yeah. Should be completely fine. I mean, there's always a chance of Dracula doing something, but... Or Shang-Chi coming, I guess. Killmonger is a threat. I mean, I think I'm just going to play the Hulk. It is what it is. There's no real chance that they win here, I think. Perhaps trying to find a lose condition by playing Hulk not in the middle, but I feel like Killmonger's more likely than Shang. Possibly. And regardless, they still have to hit something very big with the Dracula to win, so it's pretty chill. I mean, yeah, the cards, honestly, are what you'd expect from a Lockjaw deck, maybe, but the splits and stuff is very bizarre. I don't know, maybe this is a player? Maybe it is just a person? I find it hard to believe, but maybe it's someone who had an old account, that's why they've got the splits like this. It's possible. I guess we'll see. This was not a very botty deck, if I'm going to be honest. I could definitely see a human running this deck. It's just the splits are a little difficult to believe, unless this player was playing very early in the beta or something. Because you used to be able to get, splits without having any effects on the splits, but not anymore. I think I do want to just establish the Cyclops. It's a pretty good one to get going. I've got Shang-Chi, which is really good, obviously. Hopefully we don't end up in Rickety Bridge. We do. That's a little annoying. I'm just going to spam units, I guess. Not going to play Wave, though, I don't think. Maybe I'll play Wave next turn to deny the Thor hammers. Well, hopefully. That will mean it might be difficult to play what I want to play, though. If it ends up being Shang, I may want to do something else with the Shang. The Lockjaw Yondu coming down. I mean, this is quite... It's honestly quite human behavior, what I'm seeing here, so... And I'm pretty sure you cannot actually find, pretty sure you cannot find bots at this stage of things. I could be wrong about that, but it's just what I'm thinking. I guess I just don't play the Wasp here. I just keep the Rickety Bridge open and maybe go for a Shang-Chi left to win the game. This is a bit of a weird one, with the bridge and the Sinister London being a thing. There's the Jane Foster, so we're going to be able to counteract that quite nicely. Now, in fairness, we are losing our presence in the right, which is a bit of a pain. Do I want to just play Shang-Chi here? Certainly a bit risky, isn't it? We can definitely lose the game. Doctor Doom is also risky, though. It's also kind of risky. I do quite like Shang-Chi mid, because it's going to beat a lot of their plays. In the middle location, they might go with double hammer, in which case we win a fair amount of the time. I think I'm not snapping because it's a bit risky, but I'm happy to play this out for 2 cubes. I think our chance of winning isn't terribly bad. It's a bit of a weird one, might end up being a bit of a 50-50. They are playing the hammer. So now we need Shang to go left, or we need the hammer to go right and Shang to go right. So now I think we win no matter what, which is pretty nice. But yeah, a little bit of a random finish that time. In fact, do we still lose? I think we still lose, yeah, maybe. Certainly quite close, isn't it? We get +2 over here. Okay, I mean, we actually outpowered the doubled Odin, that's crazy. With the Sunspot buffs and everything. Cool. Let's get into the next game. 4 cubes for the opponent left. Yeah, I think this is a real person, actually. Despite the very bizarre card splits, it's probably an old player that's returned for Conquest mode, I would imagine. That's why they have some of these unusual card splits. Go with that Sunspot turn 1. And then Misty Knight looks good. Perfect. Perfect curve. I could probably go with the snap here, I think. Especially since they are a Lockjaw deck, you kind of want to, you know, push them out early on. I'm going to go with the snap. I've even got Shang now, which is just really great for me. Just a really great way to answer the big units, the Shuri's Lab as well. And if we win this round, the opponent's really on death's door. They're not going to have much of a chance of winning, I feel like. Okay, units can't be destroyed anymore in the left, which is a bit annoying. Do I want to just play the thing perhaps in the right location as a way to get some power there? I could also play wave. Obviously, if we play the thing left, it gives me a presence there, but I'm not super confident I'll be able to win it, so I feel like going in the right might be the correct approach, or even in the middle, honestly. Maybe in the middle. Or we could just skip. I quite like skipping, actually, you know? Because we're going to get some more Sunspot value, Misty Knight value, which will help us to win in the, well, in both of the, in the middle location in particular. Rogue, not really very useful. Now I could go with the thing, but it's also not very useful because of, because of what the opponent's got going on. I think I will go for wave here to stop them playing multiple cards from utilizing the Lockjaw, and I'll play my Wasp, try to get the value on that here. I'm hoping the wave will just sort of carry the day and that the Dracula won't be very useful for the opponent. There's the Jane Foster again. So I'm thinking I finish up either with Shang in Shuri's Lab, or perhaps with, well, we drew the Hulk. We could play the Hulk for sure, that's certainly an option. They might think we even go left. I think this is fine. And we just have to hope that the Dracula's not gonna discard something very high, you know, effectiveness. So yeah, we'll just play Hulk and Shuri's Lab, it's more than enough power. Perhaps going Shang there is a little better, I'm not sure. The Dracula gonna discard a Wasp. Yeah, not even Evolutionary Lockjaw there will take a very nice win. And yeah, just a very clean, smooth journey to the infinity ticket with this particular deck. Didn't really have any trouble. Just won very cleanly. I think this is a great deck for Conquest if you're in need of something for that game mode. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot for watching. Subscribe as always. Oh, it's so shiny. Look at it. Wow. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.